Hi guys. One of the recent trends that many have missed is that the core model providers are now swallowing up the application layer and the startups that we're building in that layer. So so give me some context. For a long time, there have been these ChatGPT wrappers and they have thrived and built a huge audience around that. And there was this constant fear that once the models improve, then these rappers will not hold any ground and they'll be eaten up and the audience will be lost to the main model providers. So what is happening right now is slightly different and is slightly surprising that actually these model providers have upped the game and are now actually building products that cover and capture the majority of the application layer. And all of these providers are making announcements and going further and deeper into the product layer. It's very interesting to see where it's going and where how far this will go. So starting off with ChatGPT, I'll just discuss a few recent examples um, uh, that different how different providers have gone into the application layer. ChatGPT announced connectors. Yes, these connectors are into Google Drive, GitHub, SharePoint, and bunch of other data sources. And this is a huge list. Box, Dropbox, Google Calendar, Microsoft OneDrive, SharePoint, so on. So these allow you, these connectors allow you to get the data sources and run search and deep search on 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 data that is stored in these repositories. Now, this makes it very easy. Now enterprises won't go and have to write their own RAG platforms, discovery platforms on top of the data that's stored in these external drives. They can directly run deep research on those and so all the providers startups which are focused on enterprise RAG are get a deep hit here because now it becomes very easy for these enterprises to build deep research on top of the data without moving them. That's that's the first connectors. That's where ChatGPT uh, broke into the application layer. The other is memory. Memory is extremely the memory layer extremely essential for building many kinds of application personalization. So you don't want to repeat stuff over and over to the language model. Any application provider doesn't want to, and you want to for the bot to remember and recall stuff quickly about you, and on demand and use it in the context. So this is core to personalization and to building agents that know you and work with you seamlessly. Now, having a memory layer, so what this provides is two kinds of memories. As you chat with ChatGPT, it stores, it creates memories on the fly and stores things that are personal about you. Name, color, preferences, things that you want to talk about or search about. So you can directly reference these saved memories in your conversation. And the other option is to reference the long form chat history. And you can go back to chat history. And for example, if you once said that you like Thai food, and when you ask later, what should I have for lunch? It might reference that you referred to Thai food once. So if you turn on saved memories, then uh, this memory layer is directly available uh, for your application. And what this does is directly attacks the startups which are only focused on the memory layer and providing the memory layer as a service. Now that is by default available with ChatGPT. The other thing is about prompts. There are a bunch of startups that prompt managing writing prompts, uh, version control over them, and managing different variants, testing them is a lot of work. And there's so many startups came up which are trying to manage these prompts for you along with an observability layer uh, where you can monitor how these prompts behave at the runtime. Now, Uh, yeah. So, so with reusable prompts, this feature, prompts are now a first-class citizen. So it will store your prompt, ChatGPT will store your prompts, manage versions, and allow you to reference them uh, in your directly. So it acts as a store for prompts, and you can have IDs for them and variables, define variables as usual. And when you're calling uh, ChatGPT through API, you can pass in the variables dynamically with reference prompts. So a good part is that it also version manages the version. You can refer to the version. So this makes it really seamless to you can to build your prompts along with the API. You can store them, and on top of that, it enables optimization on the ChatGPT side. So since all the prompts are at one place, ChatGPT can find common sub prompts and optimize them through, for example, KV stores, key value stores, so that you pay less token costs. So it's a win-win for both user and the and ChatGPT. The issue is that this attacks a bunch of startups which were focused on just managing the prompts for you, and, and they are clearly in danger now. So that's about ChatGPT. Anthropic with Claude introduced uh, a RAG layer, automatic RAG layer. So RAG generation for RAG for projects. The idea here is that um, you can so earlier when you used to add more files and more information, for example, a long SEC report, you ran into context issues, and you, the context limits forced you to carefully choose what documents you want to upload. Now with RAG for projects, this changes completely. As you, what Claude does is smartly switch to what they call a RAG mode, so that now the documents are chunked automatically in the background and stored in the way so that they are not directly in line in the context, but instead they are they're dynamically looked up using vector stores and vector matching, and the results are then brought into the context dynamically. So that saves, again, is a win-win for both. You don't worry about um, which documents you should upload, and Claude doesn't worry about about doesn't lose face on context limits exploding, and plus you save costs. So this is a very smart move on their side, and having a RAG basic vector store lookup working along with LLMs is a great move to capture the user base even more. And finally, it's Perplexity. So Perplexity has been a non-pure model player and for a long time. Now, the Perplexity was the goal was always to do what we call deep research, and they were remarkably effective in doing that and control capturing the market around that. Now what they've done is they've moved into a higher finance layer, and we're preparing financial reports, analyzing annual reports, transcripts, and so on, and presenting as a full-blown product called Perplexity Finance. This is how it looks like. You can have watch lists, you can have daily gainers, losers, market summary, key ideas, labeled by sources, latest news, upcoming earning reports, spaces around where you can do repeatable work, and then the standouts, anomalies, and so on. So this is a remarkable overview of for people who are into the markets, who need to analyze markets on a regular basis. Uh, and as an evidence, what the founder Arvind talked about Howard Marks, whose memos are very revered, and pretty sure what he says in his latest memo. This is June 18th. Um, I've simplified the format and added emphasis, but I haven't changed a word. So this is a report that Perplexity Finance created for him based on, I assume, a bunch of prompts and a topic. What follows below is pretty close to what I would have produced in an hour or two. So that is a very clear indicator, evidence for how Perplexity Finance is useful for even seasoned investors. And this product clearly captures that market. And instead of using a bunch of tools to analyze markets and generate these reports, now it is all available at the Perplexity Finance. So yeah, so that was a quick overview of how a bunch all almost all the core model providers are going higher and deeper into the application layer. And so the startups that were purely focused on that layer and niche segments are have a lot to fear. Um, yeah, so the overall themes seems like we have the brains. These model providers saying that we have the brain, just bring connect to your data and instructions, and we'll do the report generation, um, even conversation aspects of it. We'll take care of that. So if you take a step back, what is happening is that there's competition even among these providers to who to find out who owns all your data first. They're all trying to own your data and provide services on top of it. And this is much deeper than just Google search. This is actual data and actual results and insights on top of it. And the question is, which of these will become the central platform for all information needs of all these users? They're providing, all of these are competing to provide information needs, to fulfill your information needs. And let's see which of these will be more successful, or how the market will segment among different information needs.